Kohana Sunny's point of view.
My grip tightened on my bag as I got closer to the school. I was so nervous I could feel myself shaking. There was no doubt I would be singled out immediately, especially at this school. I tried my best to remain calm as I passed through the front gate. Who knew being a foreign exchange student would be so nerve-wracking? I approached my assigned locker and noticed there was a small banner on it saying "Welcome." I smiled and opened it to find a card. I took it in my hands gingerly and examined the front before opening it. Multiple signatures and notes of encouragement were written across the inside. My smile grew at the kindness of my classmates. Perhaps it wasn't so bad. I changed my shoes and put away my bag. I turned to head to class, but was met with something else. Someone else. "Hi, do you need something?" I looked up at them. His purple hair was styled up, and it appeared that he didn't get much sleep on a regular basis.
"You're the foreign exchange student, right?"
Nodding to the question, he continued.
"My name is Hitoshi Shinso. I'm in your general studies class."
He had his jacket off, and school hadn't even started yet. Maybe he was warm. "It's nice to meet you, Hitoshi. My name is Sunny." I noticed a look of shock cross his face before scratching the back of his neck.
"I don't know if you know this, but usually people use last names rather than first names."
I blinked a couple times before flushing red. "I'm so sorry. I completely forgot about that, Shinso." I calmed myself and exhaled sharply. "In that case, my name is Kohana, not Sunny. That's my first name." I gave a nervous laugh and smiled.
"Well, we should get to class. The bell is gonna ring soon."
I nodded and followed Shinso towards the class. "Hey, Shinso," he hummed in response and continued to look forward. "Do you think you could show me around school more? I don't really know my way around."
"Yeah, sure."
I fell into step beside him. "Thanks so much. I really hope the other classmates are as nice as you." He raised a brow and looked over at me.
"Is everyone in Canada so positive?"
I pondered the question. All the things Mama said about the government, the things my own friends had said to me about certain people with powers, those horrible stories on the news, and the rumors that spread. You'd be surprised." I laughed half-heartedly, deciding not to expand on what I had meant. "So, are we almost at our destination?" I could feel his eyes on me as if he didn't trust what I was saying.
"It's the next door to the left. 1C.
"Oh, cool. I can't wait to meet everyone." I picked up my pace and got to the door before him. I pushed the door and it wouldn't budge. I tried pulling with all my might, and still nothing happened. "I think something is wrong with the door, Shinso. It's not opening."
"It's a sliding door, Kohana,"
he deadpanned, sliding the door to the right.
"See?"
"Oh, yeah, I knew that. I was just seeing if you knew that. Duh. Oh, Lord." I sweat dropped, whispering the last bit to myself. He allowed me to enter first, closing the door behind him as I stepped in further. To my relief, no one noticed my appearance. I took my seat in the remaining desk as the teacher came into the room. They looked kind of frightening. I couldn't see any part of their face, and they had a gun on their hip. They kind of looked like a cowboy from one of those old Western movies Papa always watched back home.
"Alright, everyone, we have a new student joining us today,"
the teacher's voice said. It was a little muffled by the mask, but you could still hear him.
"Please welcome Sunny Kohana, our new transfer student from Canada."
the teacher said, pointing his hand at me and beckoning for me to stand up. My cheeks went pink as I slowly stood up, a little embarrassed to have everyone staring at me. Bowing, I managed to stop myself from shaking. Hi, everyone. I hope to have a good year with you. Sitting down, I stared at my desk. Introductions were always the hardest. After that, Snipes started the lesson. There were a few things I had remembered from previous schools, and I was glad I didn't have to write too much. Luckily, it didn't seem like much time went by before the bell rang and everyone began to get ready for lunch. Gathering my things, I packed them away for later.
You can leave your things in the classroom, you know.
Hearing that voice made me jump. Really? Looking up to see Hitoshi surprised me. Why are you waiting for me? After saying that, I began to feel ungrateful.
The class voted who would be your guide for the semester, and I ended up winning.
I smiled as he scratched the back of his neck. Well, thanks, Shinso. I appreciate it. I really do, I said, grabbing his arm and dragging him out the door.
Whoa,
he stammered as I dragged him away from the classroom.
Kohana, do you even know where the cafeteria is?
He asked, making me stop all of a sudden and him bump into me. Oh, no, I don't. Lead the way. I laughed nervously as he took me to where the cafeteria was at.
So, why did you come to UA High anyways? If you don't have a quirk, then why didn't you go to any of the other high schools here in Japan?
Shinso asked. Well, it's a long story, but to shorten it up, this school had more to offer for helping heroes, and I'm moving to Japan, so I needed a school to come to, I explained.
I guess that sounds reasonable,
Shinso said.
If you'd like to meet up here after lunch, we can do that. I have a few things I need to do right now, so I'm not going to eat yet.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good to me, I said as the purple-haired boy left me to my own devices. I looked around, but didn't really see anywhere for me to sit, so I walked out of the cafeteria and to a door that said rooftop. Maybe I can practice a little bit. I doubt anyone will be up there, I said to myself as I walked up the staircase. I opened the door and stuck my head out, making sure no one was around before I stepped out. I walked to about the middle of the roof and closed my purple eyes, concentrating on the tiny bubble in the palm of my hand, trying to make it bigger. I felt my hair begin to float around me. I could feel the bubble getting bigger with each moment passing by. When I got to the size of a small beach ball, I added another hand and had raised it just enough so that it wasn't touching either hand. Then, when I felt that it was a decent size, I snapped my eyes open and shot the hardened bubble outward, sending it off into smaller, marble-sized bubbles. Suddenly, a loud thud was heard, and I lost concentration. I looked to where the sound came from and saw a girl with red hair in a half bun on the ground by the edge of the roof. Oh crap, did she see me? I thought as my hair went back to normal, laying on my back. Who are you? I asked, scared. I'm sorry, I didn't know anyone else was up here, she said, getting back up and dusting off the back of her skirt. I was just practicing. With me being in the general studies class, we don't get to use our powers at all, I explained to her. Oh, okay. I'm Aizawa listener, by the way. Who are you? She asked, sticking her hand out for me to shake. I took it cautiously and said, Sunny, Kohana Sunny. I think that's how you say it. I shook her hand back. I really need to learn their culture more faster, I thought.
you're not from Japan, are you?
She said, laughing a bit. Is it that obvious? No, I said a bit hesitantly. She nodded and then let go of my hand and turned around and started to head for the door. Wait, I never even heard her come up here.
Well, it's lunchtime and I'm starving. Hopefully I'll see you around. Bye-bye, she said. Then she rolled her shoulders and a pair of brown and gray wings sprouted out from her back, and she took off. That's why I didn't hear her come up here. She's got a bird-type power and can fly. I hope she won't tell anyone I have powers. That'll be bad, I said, sitting down on the rooftop and pulling my lunch out of my green backpack. That girl is pretty nice. I hope we can be friends. I think she said her name was Listener Aizawa. She must be related to that one teacher, Mr. Aizawa. Lucky her, she gets to live in a loving household where everyone in her life accepts her for who she is and what she can do, and with a power she can easily have access to. Who wouldn't want to like her and be her friend? I said, talking to myself as I ate my lunch. Once I finished up, I decided to head back to where I told Shinzo I'd meet him after lunch. And sure enough, he was standing there looking very tired. Oh, there you are. I couldn't see you anywhere in here,
he said, looking at me boredly. Oh, yeah, I went up to the roof 'cause there was no more room in here, I said, pointing at the door to the roof.
Okay, then we better head over to our classroom. Mr. Yamada may seem laid back and fun, but he hates it when we are late for his class, and no one really wants to go deaf from him yelling at his students, he explained as we walked to the class together.
Right, I'll keep that in mind, I replied as we walked into the classroom. Sitting in our desks, Mr. Yamada continued on with some lessons. The rest of our classes seemed to fly by, and soon I was making plans with Shinzo to meet at lunch tomorrow so he could show me around. Walking out of the classroom, I saw another teacher waiting and could only assume she was there for me.
Ah, you must be Sunny Kohana. I miss Midnight.
The woman was certainly something, but Principal Nezu said she would be the first teacher. Yes, that's me. I assume you're the one I'll be staying with? She nodded and led the way.
That's right. All that needs to be done is for you to get settled in, and you're all set for the semester.
Great. I can hardly wait. I smiled politely as I continued to follow her to a huge skyscraper. We walked into the front lobby and went towards the elevator. Midnight pressed the button for the top floor, and the doors closed us in as it shot upwards. I grabbed the handrail for the elevator to steady myself.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it over time. It took me at least 2 weeks,
Midnight explained. I nodded, then the door opened up to a beautiful, tidy, purple and black themed penthouse suite. Whoa, it's so big in here, I said, amazed.
Just make yourself comfortable. Your room is down the hall on the right,
Midnight said, quickly going into her room. She came back out in a black t-shirt and shorts. I was kind of shocked to see her in normal, not so skanky clothes.
Alright, so now that you're in my care, I'm gonna have to give you at least some rules to follow and chores,
Nemuri said with a smile on her face as she walked into the living room where I stood.
Rule number 1, no boys. Just kidding. If you bring a boy home here, good on you. Rule number 2, no parties. Now I mean this one. My apartment isn't no club. 3, chores and homework before friends and fun. Now your chores. Dishes, garbages, and your room. I'll give you a $20 allowance every week if you get those done every day. You don't have to worry about cleaning the rest of the house. I have a cleaning lady here twice a week, every Monday and Friday. Oh, and just put your laundry in a hamper. The laundry lady takes it every Saturday. Just put it by the door on Friday so she can grab it. Nemuri explained as she sat down on her lazy boy chair, and a deep sigh came out of her as she got relaxed.
All right, I understand. I nodded to her.
Oh, also, if I ever have to leave on a mission, you will be staying with Mr. Aizawa. He's Class 1A's teacher, and he has a daughter in your year in his class, so you can make friends with her.
Nemuri said, looking at me. Oh, I think I've met her already. Does she have red hair? I asked, tilting my head to the side in question.
Yeah, her name is Listener Aizawa.
Okay, then yeah, I have met her at lunch, I said, then grabbed my suitcase and went to my designated room.
Hi guys, it's Pyro. So for next week, there isn't going to be a video because I'm going to be moving exactly on the 11th of September. So there will not be a video for that day. So the week after that, you'll get 2 videos that week. Not sure the days, but you will definitely have one for the 16th. Anyway, thank you for listening.